Hi, Timmy.
You having a nice laugh, are you?
I mean, it's Christmas. It's Christmas morning.
Hey!
I love the way it makes me feel inside.
What's up, everyone? Adam from FWCI. This is Thor: The Dark World pitch meeting from Ryan George as I continue through my MCU pitch meeting reactions. It's been a while. I had my recording schedule and my upload schedule just blown out completely, and I've barely been able to find the time to go back and watch these movies. But I did rewatch Thor: The Dark World months ago, and then I forgot to do the pitch meeting. And then I just watched Iron Man 3 last night because I thought that's the one I was up to. So I'll be recording that pitch meeting again soon, and then we'll get back on track and start getting through these on a more regular basis. This was probably the first Marvel movie that I went and saw in the movies and was a bit underwhelmed by it. The first Thor is not that much better, but Thor: The Dark World was really the first example of the Marvel franchise, you know, having a bit of a dud, I suppose. And I think this came out like really close to the Avengers movie as well, unless I'm mistook by that. But it was a bit of an unusual one. It was a bit of a fail sequel. They didn't know what they were really doing with Thor yet. Not enough comedy in it. The villain was a little bit meh. So I'm sure Ryan George is going to tear this movie a new space hole. But let's have a look at Ryan George's Thor: The Dark World pitch meeting.
So, you have a Thor sequel script for me? Yes, sir, I do. And you know how the first movie started with Odin narrating over a flashback of a big war between Asgardians and an evil race over some magical artifact? Oh, so you're gonna mix that up a bit, start it differently? No, I'm gonna do that again. Oh, you are? Except this time, instead of frost giants, it's dark elves, and the magical thing is called the Ether. Well, I guess that's slightly different from the first movie. Oh yeah, slightly different from the first movie's the name of the game here. Nice. Yeah, like we're gonna do that thing again where a major plot point involves Thor going against his dad's wishes to take on an enemy. But it's not the same enemy, so it's slightly different. Exactly. Amazing. So anyway, we're gonna meet up with Thor, and he's gonna be all sad and mopey. Oh, that's interesting. It's like, hey, what if Thor was less fun as a character? Right, so yeah, he's all bummed out because he misses Jane. But wait, wasn't he just on Earth for the Avengers movie? Yeah. If she's all he can think about, you'd think he would have reached out to her or something. Yeah, he was just so busy, you know, there was no time. He went out for shawarma. Yeah, just super busy. And didn't they...
God damn it. I was about to say, come on, man, he's trying to save New York from an alien invasion, but yeah, you're right, he did have time for shawarma, and Meow Meow should be able to take him. That's the one good thing that came out of this movie, was Kat Dennings referring to Mjolnir as Meow Meow. Love it. And the dude from the IT crowd is in this movie as well, isn't he? Chris O'Dowd. He was actually pretty good. There was like threads of joy in this movie, but not enough.
What if Natalie Portman doesn't come back for another movie in the future? Well, we'll just have them break up, it's no big deal. Great, yeah. So how does she get involved in this movie? Well, we're gonna have her happen to be the one human on Earth to stumble upon a portal, which then happens to bring her right next to the Ether, which happens to take over her body, which then makes her integral to the plot. Wow, that is a real stretch. Yeah, well the thing is, I hear stretching is actually really good for you. That's a good point. Stretching is tight, especially when your muscles are feeling tight. Anyway, so because she kind of...
Yeah, this is my main criticism about the Spider-Man franchise, like all of the Spider-Man franchise in every iteration of it, is every single villain is directly personally linked with Peter Parker. Like, nobody has their own backstory. They all need to know Spider-Man, and they also need to know Peter Parker as well. I feel like that's a similar kind of thing we've got going on with Jane here, that she has to be dragged into the Thor, the superhero side of the plot as well. She can't just be Jane, the Thor, you know, support person or whatever.
Activated the Ether, this dark elf Malekith wakes up from hypersleep. Oh, what's his deal? Well, there's this convergence thing happening where all the 9 realms align, so he wants to use the Ether to plunge them all into darkness. Why? Because he's evil. Why is he evil? He's not very nice. How come, though? He's the bad guy. Oh, that's as deep as this goes, isn't it? Yeah, he's a big meanie, just a real bully. So who else is in the movie? Oh, well, Darcy the intern's gonna be in the movie again, and now she has an intern too. Why? Because he's like a sidekick. Isn't she already a sidekick? sidekick? Yeah, so adding another...
It's the joke. It's great.
Is it? Maybe. I don't know how these things work. Fair enough. Anyway, so then the whole story is helped along by the fact that Heimdall is horrible at his job. What do you mean? Well, his whole thing is that he sees everything and he's supposed to guard the Bifrost Bridge. Right. But he can't see Jane, so Thor has to go get her. Oh. And then he doesn't notice an obvious enemy sneaking past him. Damn. And he doesn't realize there's a giant invasion until it's too late. Wow, yeah, they should probably find someone else to do his job. Yeah, well, to be fair, it seems like everyone on Asgard is pretty incompetent. How so? Well, for one thing, they put prisoners in cells in their full armor without checking them at all. Right. So yeah, that's gonna lead to this giant attack/prison break scene. Well, the bad guys got lucky that everybody on Asgard sucks. Oh yeah, real lucky. So what happens during the scene? Well, Thor's mom is gonna take care of protecting Jane, right? Okay. And she's gonna trick Malekith by creating an illusion that Jane was there, but she really wasn't. Very sneaky. So then she's gonna get killed. Why didn't she create an illusion of herself too? Well, I want her to die so it brings Thor and Loki together. Right, but she could have easily not died. Yeah, but I want her to. Well, okay then. So then later, Thor and Loki and Jane are gonna go to the Dark World. Okay. And Malekith is gonna get the ether and Loki's gonna get killed. But not really. Of course not. People love Loki. Okay, great. And Jane's gonna be like, man, I wish I had never found the ether. Yeah, this is kind of all her fault. Yeah, but Thor's like, you know, if you hadn't found it, then Malekith would have just found it sooner. But didn't Malekith only wake up because she found it? Right. So what the hell is Thor talking about? I don't know. Fair enough. So
Good point. Very, very sound point there. Yeah, this movie was bad. This was not a great movie. Like, I wonder what Kevin Feige thinks about this movie in particular. I mean, if you got him off the record kind of thing, would he be like, yeah, no, that's where we had to really, like, pull the reins back in hard on the greater, you know, vibe of the universe at that point? I don't know. I find this movie fascinating because it's such a down point during the peak of the MCU.
So then Thor and Jane get trapped in the Dark World. Oh man, is it gonna be hard for them to get out of there? Actually, it's gonna be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh really? Yeah, they're immediately gonna stumble onto a spot that has a direct portal to Earth. Jane even has cell phone reception and finds her car keys. Wow, that is extremely convenient. So then there's gonna be a huge battle on Earth involving portals and stuff. And what happens if Thor loses? Well, it's the end of reality as we know it. So I imagine the Avengers are gonna come help since the fight's happening on Earth? No. But they all got together to stop an invasion in the first Avengers movie. They're not going to try to stop the end of reality. It's just not important enough to justify getting the whole team together. In the next Avengers movie, they're going to get together to fight a snarky robot. Yeah, see, that sounds important. Thor's going to handle this one alone.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's some bullshit. That's where, and I get it, you can't just have the Avengers show up in every single movie, especially going back like this far, having cameos and stuff like that. But yeah, they shouldn't have done this storyline. The stakes that Malekith wanted to like inflict on all of the 9 realms was way too high to not get everybody else involved.
Thor's gonna handle this one alone, if you say so. So then Malekith is gonna get crushed like a cartoon character, and that's about it. Hilarious. So what do you think? Well, people seem to like the first movie, and this is pretty much a rehash of that, so I think we're good. Awesome. I mean, as long as the actors like it, that's all that really matters.
Doesn't he? Yeah, and fair enough. Like I say, there was something really out of sorts about that particular movie. I would take Thor Love and Thunder over Thor the Dark World any day of the week and twice on Sundays. And that's Asgardian Sunday, which is twice the length of our Sunday, so, you know, 4 times on a Sunday. Darcy was great in this movie, as she is in all of her MCU appearances. Chris O'Dowd was great in this. I would love to get him back in the MCU somehow. I'm still hoping to get one day a series, and I don't know if I dreamed this or if it actually is happening. Is there a DC Comics series that was about like non-superhero people, like just regular like people? I would love to see a bunch of those kind of third tier side characters, like, you know, the love interest of, like, the sidekick, that kind of thing. I'd love to see some of those actors get brought back into just some sort of sitcom about living in the world where it's the MCU and there's a giant hand sticking out of the ocean and, you know, superpowers exist. And it doesn't have to become a superpower TV show, but I would just like to see a little bit more world building for the MCU. I mean, they've done a lot of it. we need a big picture direction at the moment more than anything. But I don't know, I feel like that's different. It could be fun. Let's get Chris O'Dowd in there as like the lead. But let me know in the comments your thoughts on Thor the Dark World. Do you love this movie? Is it your absolute favorite? Are you seething right now because I'm sitting here saying that it's an absolute pile of garbage? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Patreon.com/FWCI if you want to support the channel further. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, ta-ta, and farewell.